So I don't know about you, but when I first started thrifting, I got very overwhelmed at all of the things that there is to look at, all the different aisles, and where I should even begin. I wanted to share some tips with you today that I think would help if you are just starting out on your thrifting journey. The first thing that I think would really help is to start really small. Don't plan an entire day of like multiple thrift stores. I would suggest picking 1 to 2 stores and just give yourself some time to get acclimated to kind of the thrifting atmosphere and all of the items that can be in there and just how the store itself is set up. And so I don't like to add too many stores into one day, especially if I was just starting out. I would go with 1 or 2. Second tip that I have is to go in with a plan. So when I first started thrifting, I would just go in there and see what felt good to me or what I thought was pretty. And while that is fine, there's nothing wrong with that, I do think now it's better to go in with a plan. So look at your house, look at your style, look on Pinterest and things like that, and make a list of things that you would really like to find. In today's thrifting world, people donate so many items that there's a very good chance you're gonna find something that you are looking for, but you just have to be prepared that it may not be the first time you go. It might not even be the 10th time you go, but I still think it helps to not get overwhelmed by just having a plan or a list. Something else that I have learned is that if you are able to, shopping during the weekdays versus the weekends is usually a lot better. There's going to be less people. I also feel like these shelves have better items, I guess because not as many people can go in and go through everything. I went to Goodwill recently and it was on a Friday and it was just extremely overwhelming, and they said that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was their busiest days, as it would be because most people are off on weekends. But if you are able to do it during the week, I would happily suggest doing that day. So another tip that I have is to dress very comfortably. There is times that I have dressed up too much and I would end up wanting to just go back home. I love to wear my favorite comfy things, then I'll throw on some jewelry, do my makeup and hair, and then I am good to go and I'm ready to shop until I drop, I guess. So this tip relates to finding items specifically. So I would suggest to make sure to examine each item that you are trying to find. So if you're getting glassware, you want to check very carefully for broken things and little chips that are sometimes hard to spot. Also, if you are getting anything with a lid, always take the lid off, look inside, make sure that it's nice and clean. And if you are getting anything to do with fabric, whether that be like stuffed animals or linens like sheets and pillows and pillowcases, you always want to smell them, because I have made the mistake of not doing that, and then even when I get home and after they are washed, they still don't smell good, which is not a pleasant experience to have. So I really suggest giving things the smell test before you take it home. Another thing I suggest is to actually be open-minded. So even if you go in with a list, you can look for those specific things, or maybe you can take a specific item, bring it home and do some DIY on it. Now, I personally am not very confident in DIY. It's something I want to get better at, but if you are someone who is already good at that, then you can definitely get some amazing deals and make some really unique and cool items. Another tip that I have is if you are shopping for clothing and home decor, I'll suggest only picking one when you first start out. So if you want to get home decor, I would not go over to the clothing section. I would just go to the home decor section and maybe like the linens and the pillows, things that kind of go together, because it can be very overwhelming to combine clothing shopping and home decor shopping all in one day. It is for me anyways. Typically, if I want to shop for clothing, I will do that only. But if you are one of those people that wants to go and find clothing, I would suggest doing it on a different day than when you do home decor. So I wanted to show you some of my favorite things that I have thrifted over the past 7 to 8 months and give you some encouragement that it is worth it to go thrifting. It is worth it to go secondhand shopping, because you will find some really amazing things. I can almost guarantee you. One of my first favorite finds is this huge lot of silver that I actually thrifted recently. I have that thrift haul up if you want to check that out. But I got all of these silver and silver plated pieces for only $40, which was an amazing deal. If you look up any of those things on Etsy, you will see that if you were to buy them each per item, it would be way more than $40. So I absolutely love that. Second thing that I love to find is vintage books. You can find them anywhere from like 50 cents to $2 a piece, which is really, really cheap. Sometimes they can end up being valuable, but to be honest, I often don't look that up because I'm using them for decorating, but that is always one of my favorite things that I can find at thrift stores. This next thing is one of my favorites because I love the movie Pride and Prejudice, and this is the letter that Darcy wrote to Elizabeth in the story. I found it at a thrift store for $3 and I just put it into a frame and used it to decorate my sunroom. I did a big sunroom makeover recently. I'll link that video below if you want to check it out. But that is one of my favorite pieces that I have thrifted because it felt like bringing a little piece of Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth to my sunroom. I just want to encourage you to try thrifting because if you are nervous about it, you don't have to worry. You can take it very slowly at your own pace. You don't have to get overwhelmed with everything. And you have to remember too, that thrifting is like a treasure hunt. Joy is really in the journey of trying to find everything, and you will get better with practice. Over time, you will learn where to go. You'll learn some little tricks. You'll learn your favorite day to thrift, all those kinds of things. And something else to keep in mind is that when you go thrifting, there will be times that you won't find anything, and then the next week you could go into that same store and just come home with a huge haul of stuff and things that you love. You have to give it time, and you have to be okay that sometimes it just isn't the right thrifting day. You just never know what you're gonna find, but I think that's what's so fun about it. I hope that some of these tips will help you want to get started thrifting, and if you are already a thrifter, I would love for you to share your tips below in the comments because we can help other people that are trying to start thrifting. But thanks so much guys for being here today. God bless each and every one of you, and I will see you next time. Bye!